standing. Shaibu, you should not be standing.
Over Satan's power.
Yes, what in Kunim, Npp 30th Kunim.
I'm an overcomer. Yes, you make me cool. Over Satan's power. 'Cause I am cool. See, I'm an overcomer. I say yes, you make me cool. Yes, you make me cool.
Let's welcome the National Chairman and General Secretary. I want to see everybody here dancing. Who knows regional organizer? You should not be standing. Afarijan, you should not be standing. Let's welcome the National Chairman and General Secretary. I want to see everybody here dancing. Who knows regional organizer? You should not be standing. Afarijan, you should not be standing. Once again, the theme for this celebration is Npp at 30, our shared tradition, holding and working together for a stable and prosperous nation. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, we will be joined by His Excellency the Vice President, our very own Muhammadu Bawumia, His Excellency, and then also the President himself, and then Sheikh Sharabutu, to have the National Islamic Thanksgiving service at the Central Mosque. Time 2 p.m. Sunday, we will have the 30th anniversary celebration and Thanksgiving service. At UPSA time 7 a.m. Every single patriot and all. We will take a brief remarks from the chairman for the new Patriotic Party before we officially commence this media engagement, which will be presented by the General Secretary of the new Patriotic Party. So with a round of applause again, let's welcome the chairman of the new Patriotic Party, Chairman Stephen Intim.
Thank you. I wish to welcome everybody and also thank you very much for turning up this morning to support the new Patriotic Party. Madam Chief of Staff, Madam Akusia, Freeman Opare Osei Opare, General Secretary, other national officers, MPs here present, all protocols observed. Today marks the 30th anniversary of the new Patriotic Party. And we have organized a series of events, starting with today's one, to mark this occasion. This one is just to outdoor the celebrations. Other events will be following. Tomorrow, we will go to the mosque, and Sunday, we'll go to church. The president could not join us today for other national assignments, which have taken him out of the country. But on Sunday, tomorrow, as well as Sunday, he's going to join us to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the new Patriotic Party. I don't want to take the wind out of the sail of the General Secretary, who has the detailed narration on the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the new Patriotic Party. So I'll simply welcome all of you and thank you for showing up in your numbers, especially our friends from the media, party staff at the headquarters. You have also turned up in your numbers. And you have floor members from far and wide joining us, as Nanabi indicated, from various regions. So we will all attentively wait for the General Secretary to come out with his speech on behalf of all of us. Thank you very much.
We are here to have media engagement. NPP is 30 years. Some 30 years ago, 28th July 1992, the new Patriotic Party was formed. Now, to welcome on stage the newest, the freshest General Secretary of the new Patriotic Party to have this media engagement with us. With a round of applause, let's welcome Justin Frimpong Kodia. We are the new Patriotic Party. We are the new Patriotic Party. The elephant is the winning symbol. We have won to say we shall win. The elephant is the winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. We shall win to save Ghana. The elephant is the winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana. Rador, Rado.
Thank you very much, the national organizer of the new Patriotic Party. Our national chairman, Mr. Stephen Ayesu in team, our dear mother, the Chief of Staff of the Republic, Deputy Chief of Staff, colleague national officers, members of Parliament here in present, directors at the national headquarters, fellow Ghanaians, friends from the media, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, we are grateful for honoring our invitation to be part of this special occasion to commemorate the 30th anniversary since the founding of the new Patriotic Party, the NPP, under the theme NPP at 30, our shared tradition, holding and working together for stable and prosperous nation. It is worth noting that the entity currently known as the New Patriotic Party was officially registered as a Liberal Democratic Party on July 28, 1992. But however, its antecedents can be traced to the United Gold Coast Convention, the UGCC, which was the first political party in our country. Mr. Chairman, we, the current adherents, are extremely proud of the tradition to which we lay claim and the role that the New Patriotic Party and its antecedents have played in making the rule of law, multi-party democracy, respect for individual liberties, and the pursuit of a liberal economic, distinguishing the factors of the political and economic landscape of Ghana. Our cherished founders had a clear vision of the Ghana they wanted and were quite clear in how to achieve that vision. When dictatorship and one-party states became the fashion around Africa continent and President Nkrumah turned Ghana into a one-party state, it was left to Dr. J.B. Dankwa to become the lead and often only open dissenting voice against Nkrumah's dictatorship and a criminal scourge of political opponents. Ladies and gentlemen from the media, Dr. Dankwa was to die painfully in prison for merely advocating for multi-party democracy and rule of law. Other leaders such as Bafo Sakoto and Obechebi Lamte were in prison for long years, whilst others, like Professor K.A. Buzia, went into exile. Today, it all sounds almost unbelievable to a generation of Ghanaians who have grown up in an era of tilapia cartoon and an atmosphere of multi-party democracy and freedom of speech. Today, there are Ghanaians who take the open abuse of a president of the republic as a normal and regular phenomenon. Today, demonstrations are things we take for granted, just as private radio stations and the free press. We, Mr. Chairman, in the NPP can say without any fear of contradiction that the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition made this state of affairs possible. In 1969, our traditional finally had the opportunity to rule the country when, following the overthrow of Nkrumah government in 1966 and the decision by the National Liberation Council to return Ghana to democratic rule, the Progress Party, led by Dr. Akufo-Addo Buzia, won the elections. The electoral victory of the Progress Party in 1969 offered Ghanaians a lot of hope as the party pursued policies to build a free democratic system of governance, improve the welfare of the masses, extend healthcare and decent housing to the people, and bridge the infrastructure gap between urban and rural areas. Throughout its reign, the government of Prime Minister Buzia never held a political prisoner, as had been the norm under Nkrumah's regime and the National Liberation Council. And it was not for want of provocation, as the Sea People members, free from being gaping sycophants, took full advantage of the new atmosphere of freedom and relentlessly attacked Dr. Buzia and his government. Unfortunately, an administration that offers such promise did not have the opportunity to serve its term, but was suddenly overthrown by the military in January 1972, just 27 months into its term. When Ghanaians became disillusioned by the socio-economic conditions under the Champon regime and the proposed union government referendum, once again it took members of the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition, notably Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo, BJ Darocha, and William Oferata, to partner people such as Komala Gbedema, General Kwesi Afrifa, and other members of the opposition groups to form the People's Movement for Freedom and Justice, popularly known as the PMFJ, to demand Ghana's return to democratic rule. The opposition to the proposed union government and other factors culminated in a Champon's overthrow and the conduct of general elections in 1979. Again, when Ghana needed fearless men to rise against the tyranny of dictatorship, the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition came to the rescue, further highlighting the MPP's contribution to democratic development in Ghana. Unfortunately, the tradition suffered a catastrophic case of internal disunity in the lead-up to the elections in 1979, when William Oferata, popularly known as Pawuli, fell out with the PFP and contested on the ticket of the United Convention, on the ticket of the United National Convention, the UNC. With a divided front, the tradition split into PFP and UNC and were defeated by the PNP led by Dr. Hila Lehman. Unfortunately, this third attempt at constitutional rule was also cut short by a coup d'etat on December 31, 1981, by the Provisional National Defense Council, PNDC, in opposing yet another military dictatorship. Professor Albert Edubuahin led the Movement for Freedom and Justice to resist Rawlings' dictatorship and canvass for the restoration of fundamental human rights of Ghanaians and the lifting of the ban on political parties. Notable members of the MFJ included John Hansen, Ray Kakraba Kwashi, Obin Menu, Akoto Ampa, Kosi Pratt Jr., Dan Latte, John Indagbugri, and A. Ousu Jima. Yet again, members of the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition partnered others with opposing political orientation in demanding Ghana's return to democratic rule. Sustained pressure from the MFJ and other communities and other groups culminated in Ghana's return to democratic rule. Subsequently, the new Patriotic Party was formed in July 28, 1992. The party's formation would not have been possible without the contribution of Chief S.D. Dombo, Arab Aponsa, Bafo Sakoto, Albert Edubuahin, Victor Ousu, J.A. Kufuor, J.H. Mensah, Apintinapia Minka, Abeifa Kabo, Dr. Danny Selby, Dr. Kwame Safuadu, Dr. Jones Ofurata, C.K. Tadem, Reverend Dr. Samuel Santiachi, Nana Ewuku, Professor Ofosu Ama, J.A. Brima, Richard Kwashi, Professor Yao Chumesi, Professor Eje Beko, Haruna Iseku, Jato Kalu, Sakisak, Alhaji Sani Mahama, Stephen Kreku, Professor John Fain, BK Adama, Aponsa Dazi, SJ Anto, Kojo Ayiki, Adam Amande, Mariama Yakubu Tali, Alhaji Yaya Aidi, and Madam Ama Buzia, among others. At this juncture, we also acknowledge the contribution of individuals whose name was submitted to the Electoral Commission for the registration of the party in 1992. Notably, BJ Darocha, who was the leader and chairman of the party, Joseph Ajenim Boateng, the secretary, Nanado Dankwa Kufuor-Addo, the national organizer, Madame Teresa Amele Tego, woman organizer, Alhaji Malik Yakubu Alassan, national youth organizer, Hakma Owusu Ajiman, national treasurer, and the national executive members, namely Frank Abezia Misa, John Bosu Kwesispio, Henrodate Lamte, Ya Albert Osabre, Malom Max Stephen Yao Boateng, Dr. Thomas Kwame Abuaje, Kojo Owusu Setre, Ahmed Kalim, Adam Amandi, and Abdullah Isaku, who acted as party representatives for the 10 regions, and indeed all the founding members across the country. Despite losing the 1992 general elections, the party leader, Professor Albert Edubuahin, authored The Stolen Verdict, a book that highlighted irregularities that characterized the elections and advocated for several reforms for the country's young democracy. Subsequently, the party proposed several electoral reforms and pursued legal endeavors in institutionalizing such reforms. We are proud to note that the introduction of transparent ballot boxes, voter identification cards, biometric verification devices, among others, would not have been possible without the NPP persistent advocacy. Mr. Chairman, it was not until January 7, 2001 that the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition had its second opportunity at governance following the swearing-in of John Ajekun Kufuor as president. Indeed, it was a trying time to assume office, and some felt we had been served a poison chalice because of the very challenging economic condition the country was in. The Kufuor administration took the brave but unpopular decision to subscribe to the IMF highly indebted poor country program. Despite the gloomy economic condition at the onset of his administration, the Kufuor government will perform what many have termed as the miraculous economic turnaround. By his second term in office, notably among his achievements was the attainment of a lower middle income status economy in 2007, introduction of the National Health Insurance Scheme, the school feeding program, the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty (LEAP), the National Youth Employment Program, Metro Mass Transport System, cocoa mass spraying, repeal of the criminal libel law, the capitation grant, and many more. Mr. Chairman, internal tensions within our party inflicted a painful loss on us in 2008, and it was to take until 2017 before we got another chance to govern. Again, like the Kufuor administration in 2001, we inherited very difficult economic conditions and showed our true mettle by not only overcoming the problems we met, but taking on the most ambitious program of the economic and social interventions. Mr. Chairman, before the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, our great country was on the path of economic transformation. Growth rate had increased from 3.7 in 2016, the lowest since 1992, to average 7% from 2017 to 2019. The rate of inflation also declined by 33% over the same period to 7.9%. Interest rate declined from 26% in 2015 to 16% in 2019. The amount of total revenue used in servicing our debts also dropped from 73% in 2018 to 58.9% by December 2019. Mr. Chairman, in the midst of all, the government still funded its ambitious program, such as the Free Senior High School Initiative, One District, One Factory, undertook an unprecedented building of roads and railway infrastructure. Let it not be forgotten that the Akufo-Addo administration was also compelled to save the deposit of over the Akufo-Addo administration was also compelled to save the deposit of 4.6 million Ghanaians with at least $2.9 billion as at January 2020 during the financial sector cleanup. Mr. Chairman, this was an avoidable mess that could have been avoided if the previous administration had been more proactive in its oversight responsibilities over our financial institutions. Mr. Chairman, as a party, we know and acknowledge the current situation the country finds itself in, the difficult situation. However, the NPP sees these current challenges as yet another opportunity for the party and government to do what it does best and get the country out of the difficulties it is facing currently, and trust the Kufuor administration that indeed we shall recover. Mr. Chairman, we aim to reduce inflation to the post-pandemic levels, keep the national debt at sustainable levels, create jobs and fund public infrastructure projects, particularly roads and schools. Mr. Chairman, as reiterated by the Finance Minister, Honorable Kufuor, in the mid-year budget review, President Akufo-Addo is determined to revive the economy in the next 2.5 years. Mr. Chairman, I state again that President Akufo-Addo is determined to revive the economy in the next 2.5 years. We believe this can and will be done, and therefore, Mr. Chairman, I take this opportunity to admonish government appointees to put in extra efforts to aid the country's economic renaissance. Further, we urge party communicators to be tolerant of criticisms and embrace dissenting opinions as the party seeks to win a third consecutive general elections, as we term it as breaking the eight. Mr. Chairman, we appeal to all members, executives, loyalists, and sympathizers of the NPP to be guided by the history and what happened to us whenever we are not united. When you feel like publicly taking on a fellow party member, when you are undermining a fellow party member, when you tell yourself you will not go out and campaign or even bother to vote, think of 1979, think of 2008, think of the pain that we went through in 2008. And Mr. Chairman, as the party prepares for its parliamentary and presidential elections in the coming years, as national executives, we pledge to act as impartial referees in the upcoming elections. Again, we also admonish other executives to do so. Further, we admonish supporters of would-be aspirants to refrain from the use of provocative language, character assassination, and lampooning of rivals in the lead-up to the party's primaries. In this era of social media, it is important not to wash our dirty linen in public. After all, we remain the sons and daughters from the womb of one giant elephant. The chairman has clearly demonstrated the NPP, traced to the Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition, has a long history of enormous contribution to the rule of law, multi-party democracy, and socio-economic development in Ghana. On the 30th anniversary of the party's establishment, we are more than determined to harness the best faculties in the country in providing solutions to developmental challenges. On this note, Mr. Chairman, I do conclude by stating that may the Almighty God, may the Almighty Allah bless our homeland Ghana and make the new Patriotic Party great and strong. We continue to pray for good health for His Excellency, our President, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Baumia, our Chief of Staff, our government appointees, our ministers, and most importantly, all party officers from national to polling station and all Ghanaians. Thank you very much, and God bless us all. Kukudu, kukudu, kukudu. Thank you.
We are born